Well, the organ is crying, and the guitar's whining. So that means somebody around the Harris County, Texas area probably has the blues tonight, and our friend down below, Judge Fleischer, there's a good chance he probably gave it to him this weekend, because they're not going to be able to talk to anybody until Monday about it. Jake Paul is getting ready to fight Mike Tyson in Dallas. But we're here, those of us that choose to hang out and roll like nerds and talk about the docket of the day with Judge Fleischer, because it's Friday, and thank God it's Friday. Let Jesus take the wheel, and let's enjoy some Fleischer Forum for the evening, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, it's 8 o'clock. You know what that means. We don't want to be tardy. Can't be late for court. That's just no way to be. I'm your Lone Wolf Ousel. I'm your curator for today's docket. I've cut this 4-hour docket down to about 2 hours of bite-sized, interesting stuff for us to enjoy this evening. So let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? We have 2 hours. Count them, 2 hours of Judge Fleischer ahead of us. Welcome to the Fleischer Forum. I hope you enjoy the presentation ahead. Let's do it. I'm trying to embellish too much. Enjoy it, guys.
All right, guys, showtime.
All right, Judge, page 1, Allen, come on up.
It's showtime.
If you want to.
Are you Jacqueline Allen?
Yes, sir.
Miss Allen, you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail. I'm sorry, up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. It's elevated to that because of the family allegation or household allegation. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On September 20th, 2024 in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a family disturbance. Officers met with the complaining witness who stated he is 98% blind. Complainant said he's been in a dating relationship with the defendant for about 8 years. Complainant stated he got into a verbal altercation with the defendant and that a knife that was on the table earlier was no longer there. Complainant says the defendant told him, "If you come any closer, I'm going to stab you with the knife in your chest." Complainant stated he felt he was scared and felt fear. Complainant then locked himself in his room with the desk in protection against the defendant.
Have you spoken to this person? Do you know if he wants to have contact with her?
No, Judge. I believe we've tried several times to get in contact, and as of I think this week, the number is no longer in service, so we've already put in a to-do for our investigator to try to
Got
find
it.
the complainant.
Okay, ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Wait a second. Tell me the threat again. I missed it. I must have zoned.
Defendant stated, "If you come any closer, I'm going to stab you with the knife." in your
Got it.
chest."
Okay. So yeah, Miss Allen, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm entering in now what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection that identifies Antonio Hughes as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot stalk, threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon. Do you understand? Thank you. If you violate these conditions, the state can and will file additional charges against you. Violation of protective order, and things will go real sideways then. What do you do for a living, ma'am?
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
Okay, disability.
Okay. We will appoint you a lawyer today, ma'am. Do not leave until we figure out what's going on. I've already have to give you 2 PR bonds because that you've taken off on us. It's not going to happen again. If you take off on us, if you don't come back to court, you will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you mind giving an application, please? And then we'll have, well, let me see if I have one. I have one already. Don't worry about it. I'm going to have you sign a receipt of the Victoria. I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box. At this point, until I know that he wants to have contact with you, I'm ordering you not to have any contact with him. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, come on.
She can come live here.
We need her to sign them up first.
All right, Judge, next is page 3.
Can you file no contact and no weapons, please? Thanks. You say page 3?
Yes, Judge.
You can reach out to the Mac, please. Okay, Mr. Barahona, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense, you now know what's going to happen. I've made your bond extremely low for someone who has violated conditions. You violate it again. I don't care. If you have Jesus here waiting for you, the bond will go high next time if you violate any conditions. Do you understand?
Yes.
You were to have today a scram on your ankle. You're not to drive. You know what conditions are on you. When I mean no alcohol, I mean no alcohol from any source. I don't care what you come up here saying. It will go in this year and it will go out that year. Actions speak louder than words. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have you sign a reset. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond connection. Then we'll have you take a seat while we wait for your lawyer to get here.
All right, thank you.
All right, Judge, next is page 6. Ellis, come on up.
Artavia Ellis.
Yes, sir.
Miss Ellis, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am. I know you don't have one, but we're going to do probable cause first. Okay.
Yes, Judge. On November 8th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a disturbance at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The complainant stated that he and the defendant had been dating for at least 2 years and stated that he and the defendant had been staying with each other at the defendant's apartment or his apartment. The complainant stated that on November 8th, 2024, the complainant stated that he was seated on the couch and the defendant became aggressive and punched the complainant on the right side of the face. And the complainant stated the defendant then jumped on him and put her burning cigarette on the right side of his face, leaving a mark and causing him to feel pain. The complainant stated that he told the defendant to leave, but she refused. The complainant was afraid and called 911, and the officer spoke to the defendant, who stated that she and the complainant had been dating for 3 years and that she and the complainant had a verbal argument over a cheating issue in the living room. And the defendant stated that the complainant kept bothering her, accusing her of cheating, and kept following her around. The defendant stated that she then ashed the burning cigarette she was smoking on the complainant's face because the complainant used to get violent with her in the past, and the defendant stated that she did not punch or have any physical contact with the complainant.
Ms. Ellis, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, I'll put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? She has a prior assault of a family member. Is this the same complaining witness, guys?
No,
it's
Your Honor,
not.
it's a
It
different.
was my
complainant.
ex-husband.
We don't need your help, please. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right. If you say something when you think it's going to hurt you, it may very well hurt you. If you think you're trying to help, just don't. I'm ordering you now not to have contact with this person. I'm entering in an order for protection that identifies London Renfro as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where he lives or where he works. Do you understand? That means you're not allowed to go within 200 feet of 10307 Dell Court in Missouri City. You cannot go within 200 feet of that address.
What is the address?
Okay. Until I know differently, you're not to go within 200 feet of that address. You know, we can work things out. My only and my primary concern, Miss Ellis, is public safety. I will do everything in my power to protect every person of Harris County. If I have to put you in there kicking and screaming, crying and praying to whatever God there may be, I don't care. Do you understand? What do you do for a living?
I drive, I work for Amazon.
Do you have a Texas driver's license, ma'am?
Mhm.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
I don't currently have a vehicle right now.
You said you're driving something. You have to have
I
car
drive
insurance.
for Amazon. I use their vehicle to deliver packages.
Okay,
So yes, I do have a driver's license.
How much money do you make a month?
Not much. I haven't worked in like a month. I've been having problems with my heart, so I haven't been at work lately.
Are you still earning an income?
As of a month, I haven't worked in like a month because I took an absence of leave because I've been dealing with my heart problems.
Okay, I'll have you fill out an application, but I need to know everything about you. I need to know how much money you have in the bank, what your monthly income is. Don't just put zeros because I'm going to send it back to you. I need to know everything about you. And I'll look to see whether you qualify for an appointed lawyer. Okay, do not leave until you sign all of our bond conditions. Otherwise, I'll issue a warrant for your arrest. And remember, no alcohol, no illegal drugs. That includes smoking marijuana. If you smoke marijuana, okay, please.
It's everything.
All right, Judge, can I come over here, ma'am? Miss Allen. Next judge is
Can
case
you file no contact and no weapons as well, please?
15. Sir, come on up.
Victoria, what did you say?
Case 15,
Okay.
Sir.
Edwin Sur Aparicio. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Good morning, Mr. Reyes. Okay.
Yes, Judge. On November 10th, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle after observing it run a red light and through an intersection. After the officer turned on emergency lighting equipment, defendant's vehicle accelerated at a high rate of speed. Officer activated sirens. The vehicle slowed down. Upon contact with the defendant, who was the driver of the vehicle, the officer observed red bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to drinking. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN, 6 out of 6, walk and turn, 3 out of 8, one leg stand, 0 out of 4. The DIC was red and the defendant consented to arrest. The results were 0.15 and 0.149.
You said the stop was
For
for,
running a red light, Your Honor.
oh, he ran a red
He ran a
light.
red light and then the officer pursued.
Got it. Okay. Mr. Sura Aparicio, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
Resident,
Do you have a Texas driver license?
manejar de Texas. Yes.
Can you run his license?
Eligible, Your Honor.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
De su posibilidad. Bajo su nombre. No,
Then you're not allowed to drive.
no se le permite.
I am making that now a condition of your bond. You're not to drive any vehicle until you have car insurance in your name. And we were able to see it. Once you obtain that, come back here, show us that you have it, and then I will take this restriction off. But until I know every person of Harris County is protected in the event that you get into an accident, you're not allowed to drive. It's just the law.
De seguranza sí tengo, pensé que era como seguro.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do have insurance. I thought you were talking about life insurance.
I don't care about life
No, a mí no me
insurance.
importa de seguro de vida.
Car insurance. Show me that you have it with your name before you leave here today, and I won't put this restriction off. I want to know that you're protected. I want to see that you have car insurance, and then we won't restrict your license, your driving privileges. I am ordering you, though, not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
¿Entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, you have a lawyer,
Tiene un abogado.
job having a lawyer.
Tiene un buen-
Because you do, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with Mr. Reyes and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If Mr. Reyes tells me that he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest.
Una orden de arresto.
Do you understand?
¿Entiende? Yes.
All right, guys, well, I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and then free to go.
Thanks, Judge.
All right.
Have a great weekend and day.
You too.
All right, Judge, next is page 7.
Thank you.
Perez. Michael,
Did you say Perez?
Perez,
First.
first, okay, come on.
Right.
You, Michael Todd First.
Sure.
Mr. First, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. And you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. So on the DWI, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. On your other case, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On November 7th, 2024, the officer responded to an HEB in Harris County, Texas, in response to a public intoxication call. Upon contact with the defendant, who matched the description given over dispatch, the officer observed the defendant to have bloodshot, glossy eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and the defendant was extremely unsteady on his feet. The defendant failed to comply, having unprovoked aggression and irritability towards the officers, and refused to answer any and all questions regarding his medical history and whether the defendant had consumed any alcoholic beverage. Through surveillance footage, the officers observed the defendant drive to the store and was the sole occupant of his motor vehicle, and the witness advised the defendant entered the store appearing to be heavily intoxicated. Due to the defendant's level of intoxication, standard field sobriety tests were unable to be performed. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused. A search warrant was signed and executed despite the defendant's attempt to interfere with the execution of the blood warrant. He resisted the officers and the hospital staff and impeded the phlebotomist from complying with the warrant.
Just telling me that he interfered. DWI okay with the interference? You got to give me more than conclusory statements.
So 3 officers, Judge, had to restrain the defendant before the phlebotomist was able to take two vials
Better.
of blood.
Okay.
He disrupted the timeline of the execution. He impeded the phlebotomist from complying with the warrant. He interfered with the peace officer while the peace officer was performing his duty. So, Judge, it just seems like he was actively resisting the whole time.
Strap him to a gurney, does it say? Do you know?
I'm gonna pull up the OR, Judge.
It's not necessary.
Furthermore, it also says that while in the hospital for approximately 5 minutes, the defendant repeatedly pulled away his arm from the phlebotomist and the officers while the phlebotomist was drawing blood.
Okay. All right, Mr. First, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you have a Texas driver license? Can you run his license, please? And then how many prior DWIs do we have here? Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Currently, yes, sir. But I would.
I don't want to talk about the case at all. I'm just trying to determine whether we should allow you to drive or not.
Well, I have something to say on that. It would be fine with me if you ordered me not to drive. I don't need to drive. I don't have a job.
But I don't know how that'll impact your life. I am going to say this, though. I am ordering you now not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. So I'm putting a restriction on your license that if you want to drive a vehicle, you're not allowed to unless it has an ignition interlock. Understand, if you drive a vehicle, it doesn't have one, you're in violation of the conditions and we're going to put you in jail.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Mr. First, if you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, you better take care of it, because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you. And I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, his license is eligible and he only has 1 prior DWI from 2023 out of Montgomery.
On probation right now?
No, it was a 3-day jail sentence.
Okay. All right. So tell me, what do you do in life? Do you work?
I don't work right now. I'm in the process of filing for disability. I tore up my knee right before Christmas the last year. And it was really bad and I'm still suffering with it today.
How do you support yourself?
My wife
So you're married?
is,
Okay, so we'll do this. I'll give you an application. Let me see if I have one on file already. I need you to fill out an application for me for an appointed lawyer.
yes, sir.
So Deputy Reeves will give you an application. I'm gonna have you sign a big reset with Victoria. You'll meet with Felicia for your bond conditions, and then we'll just have you take a seat in the jury box while we get all your conditions ready and then find your lawyer.
Fair
Okay,
enough,
sir?
Your Honor.
Okay, please.
All right, Judge, next is page 12. Nava, come on up.
Tomas Nava. Mr. Nava, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 8th, 2024, the officer was dispatched in regard to a two-vehicle collision. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle in an 18-wheeler, and upon contact with the witness, the driver of the 18-wheeler, the witness advised the defendant was driving at the time of the collision. Upon contact with the defendant admitted to crashing his motor vehicle into the rear end of the 18-wheeler. The officer observed the defendant with red glassy eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. The officer further observed poor balance, and the defendant was swaying from side to side and was looking to the concrete barrier for support. The defendant admitted to drinking, and standard field sobriety tests were refused. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused. Blood search warrant was signed and executed.
I need you to do me a favor, please.
Yes, Judge.
Does he have any DWIs that are out of county? Can you run a full NCIC on Mr. Nava?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Nava, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more bond. No more PR bonds, no more free bonds. I will do everything in my power to protect the county. As far as I know, this is your third here in Harris County. I don't want you to drive. I'm ordering you not to drive. Do you understand? You will be, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you drive, I'm going to have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. And I don't care what your excuse is. You cannot justify getting into a car for any reason.
There are no out-of-county DWIs.
I'm also going to order you to not drive any vehicle that doesn't have a guardian interlock on it. If you're caught driving any vehicle into jail, you'll go, and I'm going to deem you a public danger, and I'm going to make your bond so high you'll have teeth popping out. I'm going to order you to obtain a handheld scram device that you're going to take with you, so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. Do you understand?
Sir.
Judge, you said spring or?
He can get the portable. Yeah, today. I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'm going to get you to Victoria. We're going to have you sign a reset. You'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions.
Yes, I got a lawyer, for the
Okay,
next.
just don't consume alcohol for any reason. I don't care what your excuse is, and above all else, don't drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right, Judge, next is page 12. Payton, come on up. Donovan. Judge, is this one CHA?
Yes.
Okay.
What you,
Right this way.
what,
This is Payton on page 12.
okay.
The co-defendant is in custody. Did you want to? Or no?
Sure. Yeah, why not? We might as well. Gamble, please.
Judge.
Can you ask if Alice Moore, are they issuing the address?
Just-
want a new one, so that's why I'm asking. Go ahead and sign.
I don't know. I don't think they've had a chance to look. So, hey, guys, have you on Ellis? Have you guys reached out to the CW to see if, do you mind to see where they actually live for purposes of the MOA, please? I'm kind of at a loss, Alex, where we have Mr. Gamble, who's still in custody. Both of these gentlemen are charged with aggravated robbery. One has a $70,000 bond on the ag rob, and this gentleman here, Mr. Payton, has a bond of $10,000 on the ag rob. I guess we'll see why. Doesn't seem very fair, but I guess we'll see why. Open up, Mr. Gamble. Mr. Gamble, Mr. Payton, gentlemen, both of you are charged with cases in here. Both of you are charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You know, looking at your information, I see that Mr. Payton, both of you guys, and Mr. Gamble are also charged with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. However, your felony bond was $10,000 and yours was $70,000. I don't understand why. We will soon find out. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Okay.
On November 7th, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop on a motor vehicle after observing it violate Texas Transportation Code 547.602, which requires mirrors, and the officer confirmed 5 traffic citations. The driver was placed into custody for those citations, and the defendant, Payton, was sitting in the front passenger seat where a black extended magazine was observed in plain view between the defendant's feet. Defendants 1 and 2, the second defendant being Gamble, were both detained, and a probable cause search revealed a black backpack found to be concealing 2 semi-automatic pistols with a loaded round in the chamber, not in a concealed holster, and within the wingspan of both defendants, as well as 37.8 grams of marijuana.
Tell me about the ag rob.
So the ag rob for Mr.
The
Payton,
defendants, same day on 11/8.
I just want to confirm, Your Honor. It looks like the ag robs are different days. For Payton, it's July 27th, and then for Mr. Gamble, it's August 26th. So they're 2 separate incidents for aggravated robbery. So to begin with Mr. Payton, the aggravated robbery on July 27th, an officer was dispatched to a robbery at a vape time store, and the complainant said an unmasked defendant came inside the store, and the complainant buzzed him into the door. The defendant looked around and then walked to the door and let 3 other masked men into the store. One of the 3 men pointed a gun to the left side of the complainant's neck, and then the other 3 men took money and merchandise before running from the door. The surveillance video showed the incident and showed defendants leaving in a silver Kia sedan. Officers were able to trace the sedan back to a co-defendant. They were also able to see that the Kia had been involved in a prior traffic stop. In that stop, the passenger of the car was viewed in the officer body-worn camera. That person was the unmasked first person who entered the store and let the other 3 men into the store before helping take cash and merchandise. And to move on to yes.
There were multiple, I think it was this defendant, Mr. Gamble, was one of 5 suspects robbing vape stores. And there are multiple incidents of the robbery. So we can certainly read PC, Judge. It's just very long, but we're happy to read it.
Is it the same MO where it's in, I mean, are we talking about just like an enterprise type situation? Like an engaging and organized? Okay.
So
I'm just, I get, my question is, I want to know how dangerous these guys are, And obviously, we've got ag robs on both of them, perhaps even multiple stops of ag robs. So, Mr. Payton, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now putting an ankle monitor on you, and I want to know where you are at all times. And I'm giving you a curfew of 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I don't want you out in the middle of the night, and I'm barring you from going to any. Just got to be careful in this life, man. You got but one. You end up with the wrong person. You hang with dogs to get those fleas. You're going to end up with a 40-year sentence back there. And I'm going to tell you now, living in a 6x9 for 40 years is no way to live life. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of weapons, not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. If I find that you're smoking weed, you're using anything like that, I'm going to put you in jail. I'll deem you a public danger, and I'm going to make your bond so freaking high. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
17.
What do you do for a living?
I'm employed right now.
Why?
I'm trying to get my.
I'm now making that a condition of your bond as well. You and I are going to be so close, it's going to be ridiculous. I am making it a condition of your bond that you get your GED, and I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks to see what you have done to get your GED. You need to start working on it. We have enough people in custody as it is, and what you do now will affect you for the next 40 years of your life. You start acting like a knucklehead out there, you're either going to be dead or with a 50-year sentence, and that's not a way to go through life. You understand? I will appoint your lawyer today.
And Your Honor, in regard to Gamble, it appears that the bond may be higher as officers presented the facts of both the current case as well as a separate case that's unfiled. It's an HPD case to which the defendant confessed to also being involved. So it seems there's also an ongoing investigation.
Do we know who put the gun to the neck?
It was the defendant as well, defendant Gamble.
Gamble?
And he also put a gun to the complainant's face as they were stealing marijuana and other items.
You hear everything I just said over there, Mr. Gamble? Same thing applies to you, man. We have enough black and brown people in custody as it is. We don't need any more. You don't need to live life with a 40-year sentence because of some stupid chisa, man. You know? Do you know if you're going to bond out?
I'm gonna be talking to this bond later, Judge. So
Okay,
we'll have
if
to-
you bond out, I'm ordering you under home confinement. I don't want you out anywhere. Do you understand? You will get a GPS monitor on your ankle, no weapons. I don't want you to talk with any of the co-defendants in any of these cases. I don't want you two hanging out with each other at all. You know, you may be great guys by yourselves, but when you're together, perhaps it's a Tasmanian devil. No thanks. We don't want it. I'm going to tell you both of you now. I will do everything in my power to protect my Houston at all costs. And I don't care if you put you in jail at 17 and you're kicking and screaming and this. No. Do you understand? You were lucky to get out as it is on this type of charge, as it just count your lucky stars now, Mr. Payton. All right, so
It's a felony pending until 17 days of work roll it.
for sure. And then Felicia, so GPS prior to release on Mr. Gamble, no weapons, no alcohol, no drugs, random urinalysis. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, he did.
You did? Okay. All right, John. So I guess we'll stay in touch with Mr. Gamble. All right, Mr. Gamble, good luck. We'll just keep us in the loop about what goes on. Mr. Payton, I'm keeping you ever so close. I'm not letting you go far. Do you understand? Okay. I need him to fill out an application. Do you mind giving an application? I'm going to give you an application for an appointed lawyer. I'm going to have you sign a receipt of Victoria, and then I'm going to have you meet with Felicia for your bond conditions. Then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Yeah, correct. All of them. And then we'll start working on the GED as well, Felicia. So back in 2 weeks.
All right, Judge, you ready for the next one?
Do you know, hey, Vic, do you know if Shatoria left the paperwork for the free GED stuff? You know? Yeah, she has like 2 pieces of paper that we usually give to persons for helping with the costs for GEDs and stuff. Okay, Vic, who's
All right,
next?
Judge, did you want to circle back to page 10 and 11?
Oh,
Sherman?
Judge, hey, thank you for coming.
Jesus.
Coming up, Mr. Mancias.
John, if you can recall, this is the one where the complainant basically recanted not only the new assault, but also the first assault as well. And then she also said that she did not see the assault that involved her brother. The allegation that was made from my client then and my client now is that he was actually attacked by her family. And when he called the police, she became upset and she made those statements. The main concern that I have right now is that he cannot go to work with an ankle monitor whatsoever. He works at a high voltage area. I want to work out the case and with the state. I think that based on what I've seen, unless I see something else, I don't know if I know that there's one case with the brother that I still think that would have to be worked out, and the other 2, I think they're kind of tainted at this point.
So the first case is 200 days old and it's time to put that baby to bed. I get the other 2 are new, but I'm not going to hold one for the one that's 200 days. I'm not going to hold it for now another 180 days for the other 2.
I'm fine with it. That's, Your Honor, if that's the case, then I mean, I don't want to put the state in a bad situation, but being that she's.
Don't feel bad for the state.
Well, I mean, I'm a former state myself, so I always kind of.
So are you ready? What do you have an offer on that case?
On the first AFM, Judge?
Yes.
There are 2 offers. There's a 6 days Harris County Jail and then a 13-month deferred.
Can you make a global?
I don't feel comfortable doing that, just given that this is a case, but I'm happy to.
He was
call
here
him.
just 2 minutes ago.
was here, Your
You think he can come back?
I'm happy to call him right now and try to get him in here.
Let's see if he can come back and just let him know that we would just like a global offer. You know, I mean, that's ultimately what we want to do. And at the most, we'll give you maybe 2 weeks to kind of settle up, but it's time to put up or shut up, man. I'm not, just because you pick up 2 new assault cases, I'm not going to give you more time on the first one. It's 200 days. It's time to either go to trial or you got to accept something. Perhaps they're ready to make a global offer so we resolve everything. I don't know. But if not, we still got to take care of this case. I'm not going to give you more time on it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
It's your responsibility to stay in touch with Judge Hatton. He'll tell you when you got to come back to court. I'm not taking your ankle monitor off. I don't want you to go anywhere near these people, not until we know what's going to happen. You know, actions have consequences. You have 3 open assault cases. I'm not going to there's 2 sides to the story, but I don't know their side.
I understand.
And so until I know everything at one time, then, you know, if they were to say something that might be different, but I'm not taking your word for anything. And it's not just you, it's every person that would come here. I'm not going to take anybody's word, you know? The evidence is going to tell us to whose side is correct. That's what we need to see what's going on.
Yes, sir.
And should be pretty quick because your case is now 200 days old. All right. So let's wait for DVD. Perhaps we can work out a global resolution. If not, we'll give it a couple weeks and then we'll come back and then, yeah.
Okay, Judge.
Thanks.
May he sit in
Yes, of course.
All right, Judge, next is page 13. Healer, come on up.
Good morning, Your Honor. I will be pleading non-guilty today, and I will be representing myself.
Okay, there's a certain way we go through things. Just bear with me a second. So the first thing is that you're charged with failure to stop and give information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or 2,000. I know that you're ready to say, go through your list of this and that, but because you want to talk, you're not listening. I need you to listen for a second. I'll give you time to talk, I promise. Just let me get through the spiel and then I'll give you an opportunity, okay? Your charge is failure to stop and give information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay, we're just going to do probable cause because I don't know what happened. Maybe there's no probable cause and then you're out of here. I don't know. Stop. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that. They're DAs. Every single thing you say, they're going to sit there and type to use you.
I know that's my right.
Just hold on. Let's do probable cause first.
Yes, Judge. On June 15th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a crash. They met with the complainant who reported that she was involved in a crash with a Toyota Tundra and provided the license plate number. The male with gray shorts, no shirt, and tattoos stepped out of his vehicle and offered the complainant to follow him back to his house, and the complainant declined the offer. The defendant then left the scene without giving any information and sideswiped the complainant's vehicle a second time. The officers began to head to the car's registered address, 0.4 miles away, when they received a second call for help at the address they were headed to. At the address, a male matching the description provided by the complainant was having a mental episode in front of his house. The defendant admitted to driving and leaving the scene without giving information. The damage is approximately $2,000.
Okay. All right, Mr. Peeler, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. How old are you, sir?
So on June 15th, I was in a state of psychosis and I have
Hold on.
documentation of the settlement that took place for the liability property damage which occurred on that incident. I have the claim number in front of me if you need it, Your Honor, for that settlement. I have the mental health crisis documentation discharge summary provided by the Harris County Constable living at 13800 Lake Superior Lane if you need that. Upon further request, I can provide documentation of the discharge from the hospital that I went to.
Let's do this.
Supporting the mental health.
Mr. Peeler.
And I'm disabled. So.
Let's do this. Why don't I have you talk to a lawyer? Okay, your lawyer can talk with you, get to know you, find out what happened, and then they can approach the state to try to, see what's going on.
But I'm disabled and I don't want to be, and I never was.
Just don't say anything.
Warrant at all. I never received anything in the mail, not once. So how can
Sometimes cases work like that. Sometimes a person is involved in some kind of situation where a warrant will not issue immediately to where they get taken into custody at that time. Those are called.
In the mail, so I assumed that I would have received something.
Never assume anything.
You're right.
Never assume anything. But let's do this. I can have you talk to a lawyer here momentarily. You can explain your situation to the lawyer. The lawyers can talk to the DA, and then we can work something, okay?
So.
Just hold on.
I agree.
I don't want you to say anything because there are a bunch of DAs here and everything you say, they're going to use it against you. I will give you the opportunity, but first let me have you talk to a lawyer. I've got a bunch of them and they're great. They truly will help you out. Okay, really. Yeah. So let's do this. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'm just going to have you take your seat in the jury box while I find your lawyer. Be patient though. I've got 150 people here, Mr. Peeler. Okay, so just be patient. Okay.
Failure to, well, I actually did stop. I mean, for the record, we both have exchanged words outside our vehicle.
Okay, come on.
Proctor? Jesse?
We will probably need to do conditions on that, but let's wait till we get.
Yes.
Hey, Vic, probably have to do conditions, but wait till we get a lawyer. Okay. Are you Jesse Joe Proctor?
Yes, Judge.
Proctor, you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
I do apologize. Internet's being slow. It's loading right now.
You tell me when you're ready.
Yes, Judge. Apologies.
No problem.
Ready, Judge.
Go for it.
On November 7th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a burden for residence in progress call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The officers found the suspect standing in front of the complainant's residence, and the defendant is the complainant's ex-boyfriend, and they had been dating for 2 months, and they had recently ended a relationship. The defendant had been sending threatening text messages to the complainant stating that someone was going to die tonight and that it was going to be the complainant. The complainant and her mother were going to die, and he also sent messages that he is going to take his gun to the complainant's house. The officers observed the text messages and confirmed that the defendant sent them by asking the defendant for his phone number and comparing them to the messages to get the complainant's attention. The complainant stated she feared for her life because she stays at home alone and would like to pursue charges.
Got it. All right, Mr. Proctor, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have contact with this person and not to be in possession of weapons. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
If you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds, sir. Can you file the no contact and no weapons, please? There is a protective order that has been issued in this case. Get to know it, because if you violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges of violation of protective order, and that's one of the worst misdemeanor cases you can pick up. Violate conditions on a VPO, I can hold you at no bond, 0 bond, and I will do it in a heartbeat to protect every person of this county. You understand? What do you do for a living?
I do operation support for a transportation company.
How much money do you make a month?
Approximately about 5,000. I just started the job like 2 weeks ago.
We're going to give you time to hire lawyers. So I will first have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'll get you to take a seat in the jury box. We're going to have to wait for your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And after that, you'll be free to go. Don't go anywhere near this person. Life is too short. Do you understand? I'm telling you, life is way too short to live in a 6x9 box because of one person. There's 10 gajillion fish in the sea. Move on. It's over. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, man. Come on.
Right this way. Rodriguez, Christian, come on up. Page 14.
Christian Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, you're charged with failure to stop and give information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
One moment, Your Honor.
Allen, Jacqueline.
Sorry about that, Judge.
Sure. Tell me when you're ready.
I am ready, Judge.
Okay.
On November 9th, 2024, officer was dispatched to a vehicle crash hit and run at the intersection of West Sam Houston Parkway. Dispatch advised the defendant struck this complaining witness's vehicle and an electric pole and then fled the scene on foot. Upon arrival, officers saw complainant's vehicle, which sustained damage of approximately $2,000, as well as the defendant's vehicle, which was totaled against the retention cables of the electric pole. Complainant advised officers that the defendant left the scene without providing his name or vehicle insurance. A witness on the scene provided a description of the defendant, and several of the defendant's family members arrived on scene, one of whom identified the defendant by his name and date of birth. Defendant's mother later called dispatch and advised that her son had been in an accident and fled the scene because he was scared.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license? You're not allowed to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care if there's a burning building. I don't care if Jesus comes down and needs a ride to church. You get into a car and drive, there's gonna be a heavy toll. I'm having you sign an affidavit promising me you're not gonna drive. I can have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. It's an offense in and of itself. Do you understand? If you want to drive, go get a license, get liability insurance, and then we can talk. But until that point, don't. How old are you, sir?
23,
What do you do for a living?
working refineries.
I'm going to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Victoria Road. We'll have you sign a receipt and we'll get you out of here. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir.
All right, Judge, next is page 15, Stokes.
Good morning, Ms. Stokes. Ma'am, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. On October 31st, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a Walmart in Harris County, Texas, in regard to a theft. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant, the loss prevention staff, and the defendant. The complainant advised that she observed the defendant concealing items on her person along with skip scanning items at the register. The complainant then observed the defendant proceed to walk out of the store, passing all points of sale. Total cost was $49.92.
Stokes, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm barring you now, and I'm ordering you not to go to any Walmart for any reason. You understand? If I find that you go to Walmart and I don't care what your reason is, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You're already on bond for a felony theft as it is now. It's very possible they revoke your bond and issue a felony warrant for your arrest. What happened with the felony theft that she's on now?
Your Honor, on the felony theft, it says that the officers were on patrol and ran the vehicle through NCIC and noticed the vehicle was reported stolen. The traffic stop was conducted. The driver of the vehicle was identified as the defendant. The complainant identified herself as the sales manager of the auto dealership and stated the defendant came into her office to purchase the vehicle for $11,000. The complainant stated the defendant presented 3 money orders for $1,000 each as down payment. The complainant stated they only allowed the defendant to leave with, they allowed the defendant to leave with the vehicle. The complainant stated several days later, she found out the money orders were stolen. The complainant contacted the defendant and told her to return the vehicle immediately, which were ignored.
And I see that she has yet another one from March of this year as well. Same thing.
Let me see, Your Honor. In that incident, she used stolen identifications and rented a car for 1 day and was supposed to return it, but failed to return the vehicle.
I'm ordering you not to drive. I am making it a condition of your bond that you're not to drive. Do you understand? Do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Your Honor.
You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to appoint your lawyer today, ma'am, and then we'll talk about all your bond conditions. I'm going to have you sign a receipt of Victoria, and then I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box, ma'am. Do not go away until we have you talk to the lawyer, okay? Please.
Right this way. All right, Judge, next is page 19. Warzak, Emily.
Is it Miss Warzibach?
Warzbach.
Ms. Warzbach, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. On October 23rd, 2024, the officer was conducting surveillance at a department store in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed the defendant enter an Old Navy. The officer made contact with the complainant, the loss prevention manager, who stated the defendant entered the store, selected multiple pieces of clothing, and walked towards the front of the store. The defendant abandoned merchandise on the table, but kept a white sweater. The defendant passed all points of sale with the unpaid sweater, causing alarms to sound. The officer observed the defendant remove the security tag and throw the tag on the ground. The officer made contact with the defendant and recovered the sweater.
Okay, Ms. Warbach, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. I'll appoint you a lawyer today, but sending you for a drug test. If you fail to go take a drug test, if you fail to come back, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand, man? Okay, take your seat for me, please.
Right this way. Judge, that was our last arraignment.
Okay,
Counsel, you need to approach, go ahead.
Josh.
Page Brown,
It's a BBR, right?
it's a plea.
Oh, okay.
This is.
Oh, no, we're not. Same case.
Do you mind bringing her up?
Time for the defer today.
You've done the TRAS? Okay, great. That way we know what to,
About to start a job at Fiesta. There's somebody.
Can I get the thumbprint first?
we need your thumbprint, please. I've got another Brown on a DVR. That's why I thought it was. Okay. All right. Good morning, Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown, you're charged with assault, bodily injury. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you a 13-month deferred. That is a type of probation that if you complete it successfully, you do not end up with a conviction on your record. This is really important. You don't need a conviction because when you get one, you become very difficult to employ, meaning it gets very difficult to get a job. The more convictions you get, the more difficult it is to get a job because people know that you have a volatile, meaning trigger temper, that if you get upset, holy moly, she could lose it and just, so it's really important that you make this work. Not only that, if you complete it successfully, you can have it sealed after a while so that the public can't see it. I will pay for it for you. If you complete this and you can qualify for the sealing, I'll do it for you for free. All you got to do is come back. And I'll make it even better for you. If you do everything you're supposed to do, stay out of trouble, I'll cut you loose in half the time. 7.5 months, you can be done with this thing, no conviction on your own. How does that sound? Be nice. It's not hard. That's all you got to do. If you get upset, walk away, go somewhere else. When I get upset, I distance myself from everyone. I'll go over there. I'll go run. I'll find something else to do. My kids piss me off like crazy. What do you think I do? Yeah. It would be very easy for me to just beat them into submission, beat them and spank. And no, that's not the right way. If I get upset, I get up and I leave, walk out of the house. I'll go to find something else to do. That's what you need to do when you get upset. It's not the end of the world. It's never the end of the world. All right. So what does the TRAS say that she has to do?
She's gonna have to be in the mental health. Group,
Okay, great.
career management, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay,
Job skills training, and monitoring and psychotropic medication and treatment.
great. That sounds great. Do this 7 months, I'll let you loose. And then you're done. We early terminate people all the time for when they do well. We let them go in half the time. My only issue is, will she qualify for funding? Do you know?
I would have to ask.
Because she doesn't have any money, and if one of the conditions on here is GPS monitor, there's no way she's gonna be able to pay for that. I know that we have, is it
Because
TLAP?
that was something that her case manager had recommended that he thought would be helpful for her, and so.
I think it's a great idea. But what I want to do is be able to pay for it, because I know that she can't, and I can't waive the fee while she's on probation, but she might be, I know that she'll qualify for the funding. Can we try?
We can verify.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get you to qualify so that you don't have to pay for anything, okay? But if you ever have a problem, do you have Josh's number?
Tablet, so I don't have any contact.
Who took it? Did she tell you, is it she or he?
She,
Did she tell you how you can get it back? Is the guardian here now? How did you get here?
my group home staff, we did it.
They here now? Where, are they in the courtroom? Can you, who is it?
Miss Simone.
Yeah, but where? Miss Simone, do you mind coming up, ma'am, please? Yes, coming up. And Josh, give her my card too, will you? This is my card. If you ever need anything, all you got to do is just, you have us. I mean, Miss Brown, we're always here to help, you know? All you got to do is just make a call, send me an email.
I'm Simone.
Hi, thank you for coming. So they took her tablet.
Yes, they did.
How can she get it back?
In 1 month, if she behaves well.
You can get it back. It's not the end of the world. If you're good for a month, they're going to give it back to you. Right? Can you do that? Okay. You'll have it back in a month. That gives you a way to be able to contact us. So she's getting into a probation today. It's a 13-month probation. I told her that if she does well, then we'll take her off in half the time. All she has to do is the anger management class, stay up on her medication. And then there was one more important thing. What was it? The cognitive, it's therapy, okay? Do that, things will go well, all right? You give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you enter into this agreement, this is a contract you're signing with us. You either complete it successfully. If you violate it, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. We put you in jail. I'm going to bring you back out in orange, like you've seen all the other people that come out. And we're going to discuss whether you violated it. And if you did, we can put you in jail for an entire year. Do you understand this? This is serious business, because you could go to jail for an entire year if you violate this. If you get violent with someone, if you do something you're not supposed to, if you pick up a new case, if you don't do your classes on time, if you break curfew, it's a problem. Can you get it done? Okay, I wish you luck. How do you plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty? I won't find you guilty. I'm going to wait 13 months. Make us proud. You'll be done in 7.5. All right? All right. Good luck, Ms. Brown. Thanks.
Do you want to get the GPS for the entire probation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm inquiring right now over 8 months.
We have to, because there's got to be a way, you know. Shreya.
Judge,
Hi.
I was appointed on 2 jail cases. On the first one, Joseph Francis, I do have the waiver of the bail order.
Okay.
On the second one, Victoria said I have to approach Mr. Roberts.
Yes, I'm glad that you got it. And I'm glad that he's here, because we've been rolling him day for day until we got him. Do you mind bringing out Robert's clay, please?
We'd waive a bail hearing.
I need to talk to him. I just have to tell him what's going on. And I don't know anything about the new cases. And so
The new cases are 2Bs actually.
all of them?
Two.
Mr. Roberts Clay, how's jail? It's been a long time since I've had someone with this kind of drama. Let's go through your spiel. 9/25/24, evading arrest, and you pick up an FSGI. 11/9/24, assault of a family member, assault of a family member, assault of a family member, assault of a peace officer, assault of a peace officer. You get on bond, I guess, he's on bond for all those cases, right?
Yes, Judge, I see.
And now you've picked up another assault of a family member and an interference.
Those are two Bs filed, Judge, while he was in custody. So he was not out of custody. He's been in custody.
So in our case here, from November 9th, he has three assaults. And then he also has the FSGI in evading, the new assault and the interference that was filed on 11/13. Was that,
In 2022.
so they're older?
They're older ones that they just filed a couple days ago. But he's been in custody on our 3 assaults and the felonies.
So the felony assault, I see that he has not made bond on.
No, and that's why he was in custody, because he was on those 2 bonds while they filed these two on him.
Yeah, 22. And the interference was also from 22. Do you know all the assault family members, are they against the same complaining witness?
No, they're different, Judge. 2022 is Asia Barrows.
What is that, a girlfriend?
An ex-girlfriend.
An ex-girlfriend, okay.
No,
And then,
it's just regular, no baby.
okay, so then the other 3 assaults that we have here,
The other 3, the newer 3 are baby mama, mother and sister,
his mother?
his mother and his sister.
Okay. Have we found PC on all those cases? Because I don't know if we have or not. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like PC's been found on all of them. Okay, so Mr. Roberts Clay, I want you to understand something, that I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with any of the complaining witness in any of these cases. Do you understand? I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons, not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you, and I'm going to put a GPS monitor, and I'm giving you 1,000 feet. I'm going to give you a 1,000 feet distance of where I don't want you to have contact with any of these people, any of the baby mamas, your mom, whoever else is part of these, the peace officers, anyone in any of these cases. Don't have contact with them. Don't go within 1,000 feet of where they live or where they work. There should be orders for protection on each one of these cases. So you have to understand, if you violate these, then the state can and will file additional charges against you. You need to understand, if multiple assault family members within a certain amount of time, they can hit you with 3rd-degree felonies, and you can be looking at 2 to 10 of the penitentiary on those. So I don't know if you're going to get out, but if you do get out, I would be very careful where you go, because even if you have whatever contact, they can file more charges on you. I mean, you've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 open cases. Shreya, the evading arrest and interference on all these assaults, those happened after.
Yes.
Right? So I'm revoking the bonds on those 2 cases. The evading arrest and interference, the FSGI and evading, I'm revoking those bonds. because of all the new cases that he's picked up.
I understand, Judge, but the two new cases are from 2022.
That's why I'm not doing anything with those, right? So I'm not using those against him to revoke the bond, but the new cases from 11-9, those are after, we ordered him follow conditions. You have failed to follow those conditions by picking up another case, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assaults. So because you picked up those 5 assaults, I'm revoking the bond on the FSGI and evading.
So Judge, is this his first court date since the November 9th?
Correct. Yeah, this is the first time that I've seen Mr. Roberts Clay. I have not seen him at all, but we've been literally rolling him day for day to try to get him here. And we had Marco Sapien representing him, trying to get Mr. Clay, Roberts Clay and Marco at the same time so that's why. Did you want to add anything?
What are the conditions currently, Judge?
So no contact, no weapons, GPS, no going within 1,000 feet of any of the complaining witness where they live or where they work.
Satisfied with that, Judge.
Sorry?
That works, Judge.
And then I'm revoking his bonds on the FSGI and evading, and then that's it. So
What are you setting those at, Judge?
I think there should also be, I would ask that they also be set at 5,000, Judge, to mirror the others.
75.
5,000, Judge.
Oh, yeah, I was going to do 5,000 and 1, 2, 3, 5,005 on the FSGI and evading. And then I'll leave the others as is. Okay, Mr. Roberts Clay, you know what's expected of you if you bond out. Just don't go near anywhere of these people. Sometimes when you have cancer, what do? You cut the cancer out. If you don't, it's going to kill you, right?
Judge, would you do 5,003 just because I think it looks a little misleading whenever inside we're
of
looking
course.
at it and
Yeah.
it looks like you picked up 5, but it's actually 3.
Yes, of course. These people may be a cancer to your life. They're killing you, man. Cut it out before it kills you. Do you understand? All right, thanks. If there are no MOAPs, wait. So, yeah, on any case that doesn't have a MOAP, I'm gonna grant it. It's just, there's so many cases and I just don't have time to look. Okay, ready?
Deon Jones. This one? Did you find PC on the UCW on this guy? Okay, just making sure.
Deon Jones, come up. I want you to understand that I'm going to keep you extremely close. I don't want you consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. Do you have a Texas driver license? You're not allowed to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care where you got to go. I don't care what you got to do. Unless you have a license and liability insurance, don't drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? You now have 2 open cases. You pick up a third, I'm going to lose it. I'm also ordering you not to go back to the place where the criminal trespass was, where you were arrested with the criminal trespass. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons. You understand? You know what's expected of you, Mr. Jones. There's no excuse. I'm going to protect my county out there. You mess with my county, I'm going to mess with you. That's it. If I got a lawyer, it's your responsibility to stay in touch with Connor. He'll tell you when you got to come back to court. Come up here. We'll have you sign your affidavit. and then we'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions. After that, you're free to go. All right. Thanks, Connor.
Judge, I need to approach on Mr. Carter Peeler, Judge Peeler.
Yeah.
Judge, my client is 29 years old. He's got a history of mental situations. He's here with his parents.
Oh, where's mom?
Well, mom just went down to pay some parking, but dad is here.
Yeah, come up, Dad.
Judge, I mean, they have some, they have documentations of all of his mental challenges. I'm on the case, but I'll review the meds and all that, and it actually may be a better case for the PD's office. I'm not sure, but I mean, I know he's.
Hi, Dad.
He gets nervous.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
There's no reason for you to be nervous. Really, it's not the end of the world. You've picked up a case, but it happens. When you do that, you dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and you move on. All we want you to do is just don't violate the law. Do you have a Texas driver license? Do you have liability insurance? Okay, you can continue to drive. Just be careful. If you happen to get into an accident, stop. It's not the end of the world. That's why you have car insurance, so that if you get into an accident, they're there to help you with what happened. They'll even give you a lawyer to represent you. That's why you pay for car insurance. Really.
I didn't know they'd give you a lawyer.
Well,
your
certain
insurance
situations,
company.
not every single time, but
Okay.
like if someone were to sue you and you
Yeah.
have car insurance, typically there's a lawyer to help you out with these cases. Yeah. So that's why you pay for car insurance. That's why it's as expensive as it is. So I'm not putting any conditions on your bond, okay? Just be careful and be safe. That's it. We've given you a lawyer. Just stay in touch with John and he'll tell you how to navigate through this issue, and that's it. Do you have any questions? The only other thing I'm going to tell you is that if you take medication, psychotropic medication, continue to take it. When you stop, I see so many people, they start taking it and they start to feel good. You know what? I don't need this anymore. I feel great. They stop taking it, boom, same thing starts happening. They evolve in that circular, just end up in purgatory because they stop taking it and they end up back into the same situation and into bad things start happening. If good things are happening when you take the medication, keep taking it. It's there for you to do well and to be well, to be better. And that's what the medication is there for. Don't stop taking it, because when it does, that's when things spiral out of control. We're here to help you. That's why we have lawyers. That's why we have, okay? Questions? Just relax. Everything's fine. If you guys need anything, we're here for you. You can always come back here and then we'll help you out. We'll set you off a month. If you need anything, just come back and we're here for you. Okay? All right, guys. Take care.
Need to sign.
No, just a reset. Yeah. Okay. Shreya.
Hey, Judge.
Hey.
This case is actually not on docket, but it was a case that I was appointed to. It was Dustin Eli, the guy that had some heroin issues. And we gave him a probation. He's here to turn himself in and wanted to ask you about two things. I'm no longer his attorney, but since I was on him, I thought I'll just pro bono do this.
Come up, Dustin Eli. How can I forget Mr. Eli?
Right, me neither. He just calls and says, it's Dustin. And I say, I know you, Dustin.
What happened now, Mr. Eli?
Nothing, sorry, my phone's ringing. Nothing bad. I've been going through the program as you ordered me. I went straight to the program. They told me last time I was here that it was supposed to not be any fees, and they're charging me fees. It's like
So I waive as much as I can with regard to probation fees. Outside vendor stuff, I cannot pay for. Like if you have to take classes out there, and I told you, while you're here with me, I can pay for everything that you are here for me in there. When you're on the outside, and I told you that umpteen times that we have treatment programs in here, $15,000, $30,000 worth programs at your disposal, but you wanted to go out, And I can't pay for stuff on the outside. I can
Oh.
take off probation fees, but outside vendor stuff I can't pay for.
Oh, yeah, they haven't even put me into a program yet. I'm still waiting for them to put me into some kind of program or see
So-
counseling. Yeah.
Treya?
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it and he's saying so I talked to him and he's actually been clean on his own. You can trust him if you want. And I can tell from his face. But he's been doing it just like on his own cold turkey. He said that they haven't given him his classes yet. So
Is there a warrant for his arrest?
No, what?
I thought you said that he was.
No. Is there? Do you have a warrant?
Well, Mr.
He's
Eli.
gonna turn himself in for the days of conditions.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Sorry.
I wanted
I was
to ask,
wondering what we were.
Yes, 251-3248. And he wanted to ask you if you could put it off because
Why?
I'm taking care of my mom. I just buried my dad last week.
You need to take care of you first before you try to take care of anyone else first. Don't do that. Don't try to use anyone else. But you are.
Just hear me out for a minute. There's nobody to take care of my mom. It's me and my 13-year-old brother. I'm waiting for my brother to text me an email from the doctor saying that we have to look after her for the next couple of weeks.
You and I have enough history, Mr. Eli, that I know when you tell me something, I'm not. No. Part of the probation that you had to do was you had to do this. You agreed to do this. You're going to have to do it at some point. You cannot just out of sight, out of mind. It's one of the conditions of your probation. You have to do it.
I was just asking, Judge, if I could get some more time to do it. You know, I showed up here. I'm willing to take a UAS test. I've been.
Have to. If you didn't, then we would file a motion to revoke. I mean, you have to. I mean, we're not going to congratulate you for doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's what enables you to be out in the free world because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the congratulations is that you don't have a warrant for your arrest. Otherwise, you would be with me on a long-term basis. We are trusting that you're going to be able to do this on your own. That's why we let you out and I didn't want to. I told you this, and I told Shreya, how many times did I say this, that I didn't even want to do this? You understand this, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Right, because I knew that there were going to be issues, and I'm hoping not. I want you to complete this successfully. If I test you now, are you going to test positive for anything?
No.
How much time did he have to do?
this was that. Yes, I was in there.
Let's do this. I mean, I have to help people that are on docket now. I'm prolonging them and they're
No
on
worries.
docket. So
I just wanted.
let's do this. I want to send him for a drug test right now, please. Yeah, make sure he's not using, and then we'll have him come back and then we can talk about the time.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll be gone.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay. Just Abel.
Round two, Judge. Jose Vasquez. As I was saying, I found.
Where is he even here?
Yes, sir, she's in.
Okay.
I found someone somewhere where you do the hours. I'm asking for a 1 week recess. They cannot have him do it over the weekend. So I'm asking that you roll it till next Friday, the 22nd.
For him to do what?
The 10 hours community service hours.
And what if he doesn't have it done?
Set of a trial.
No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, it's silly because we've done that umpteen number of times. We're back here, still, we're at the same position we were over there. I mean, you're taking advantage of us, dude. You know, you want to just set up a trial just for the sake of setting a trial, just to give him more time when he's not going to do anything. You know, it's just, I'll give you the week if we had assurances that he was going to do it. I never want someone to end up with a conviction if you really put your heart and soul into it, but he hasn't done anything. And I'll give you the week, but then if we come back here and he hasn't done shisa, we're going to just set up a trial. I'm going to give you a 10-day trial setting if we do that.
That works.
You know, state, and get ready for trial, man. You need to get ready.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Judge, on what date were you thinking? So the chair could set it for trial. This would like to,
And it's gonna be a 10-day setting. I'd like to get our motions and subpoenas out as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
What's the last name again, Abel?
It's Vasquez.
Vasquez. The 26th. and set it to day trial sitting on that day.
So he wants a week for him to do the community service, right? And then he's saying that he'll have the 10 hours of community service done. If so, great, the case gets dismissed. But if he doesn't, then, you know,
So just, that would be 7, 8, 9, 10. It would go into January 3rd, Judge. December
No,
3rd.
no,
Sorry,
no.
December, I meant December 3rd.
okay, great.
I said the wrong.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm willing to do any day other than Tuesday. It doesn't matter to me. Because now we're at a point where it's, so I'm not gonna stick to just the norm Tuesday. Well, I'll go Wednesday, Monday, Friday. I
Well,
don't care.
if we're sticking
So-
to 10 days, that would be that one, Judge. I was just sticking.
So just
So I'll prepare,
ready, get your
yes, Judge.
subpoenas in a row, you know, talk to witnesses, just be on the ready. Because I don't know if he's gonna have it done, but
Yes, Judge. Thank
this
you.
is the last week.
Yes, Judge.
Know what I mean?
Yes.
Just, Jillian, are they bringing them out?
I don't think so.
You said Webb?
I don't think so.
No, but it was Webb.
Oh, Webb, W-E-B-B.
Deputy, do you mind bringing out Mr. Webb, please? Aria,
Hi, Judge. Good morning.
hey, dude.
So I'm here on Mr. Fat Ahmad, the guy that we rolled from earlier this week. I overheard as I was listening to everybody that Michael's in trial, so that I was wondering why he wasn't responding to my email. So Mr. Fat Ahmad actually did go on Wednesday. He was told that they would email and notify the court or whatever that he went, but they hadn't received anything. So I called myself again, and luckily I got a hold of the director. Her name is Barretta Sykes. She was the one that actually spoke to him, remembered him, confirmed that he went on Wednesday, but she would not give me, she says they don't give any physical paper letter updates to me. They only give it if the DA requests it. So I emailed Michael and I hadn't heard back, but then I overheard that he's in trial. So that makes sense. So then I looked up and emailed the 2 and the 3 of the court. I have the email address they need to email. It's like mentalhealthdiversion@dao.hctx.net. And I gave the name of the lady in the email. I was told that if that email goes directly to her.
They keep me up for 4 days.
So I was hoping maybe one of them got the email and got the confirmation that he went so we could dismiss it.
We just got that email 20 minutes ago, so we still need to follow up.
Sure, of course. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, perfect. I figured if one, it probably takes forever to send, and 2, like I said, I had sent it to Michael. That's why they got it recently. So do you want me to just hang tight or?
you want to roll it till Monday?
Yes,
You want to roll it till Monday to see?
I'm flying to Spain Monday. I can't zoom in. I'll be gone for 2 weeks.
I mean, we probably have at least another half hour here if you want to.
Yeah, I can, I have something to do and I can totally check back in. I'll circle back in. It's not a problem at all. That lady told me, I asked her specifically that email comes to her and she's like, if they email me right now, I will and they asked me, I will confirm that he went on Monday. So hopefully I know it's hectic there. If they get a chance, maybe she'll respond to them today.
So do you know who she's talking about?
Yes, Judge. I'm emailing right now.
Okay. great.
Perfect. I'll circle back.
Thanks,
Thank
Morgan.
you.
Okay, we're on it, Aria.
Thanks, Judge. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Before we start the plea, Mr. Webb, this issue with credit. So Mr. Webb was arrested in Galveston last Thursday. Harris County came to pick him up on Monday. So he has 4 days credit in our system.
I can call to see when the hold was placed, and then that'll tell
I
us.
was able to find the.
I can do it. Don't worry. Is it 60-60? Right? Yeah. Do I do 9 or 5, 60-60? Hey, this is Judge Fleischer in Court 5. Do you mind telling me when the hold was placed on someone, please? I got a case number when you're ready. 11-6-24, and that was from Galveston, correct? Got it. Okay, thanks so much. Bye. 11-6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 10 days.
The guy was arrested on it and bonded out.
What do you mean?
There was a warrant put out. I turned myself in. It was months ago. I was coming here and
Before the Galveston case?
before the Galveston case. I was out on bond. My bond's been revoked, my bond.
I don't know. I mean, I'll have to check that. I don't know.
I came to see you twice in street clothes before I got arrested, but the bondsman pulled the bond on me.
Are you talking about, September 6th?
Yeah, where I turned
See
myself
any
in.
credit there?
No, Judge. I'm only showing those 4 days now, anything.
That's it. So it's 10 days total. Mr. Webb, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you, give me a second. They're offering you 45 days in jail, credit for the 10 days that you've done. Understand that this is going to go on your record. It'll be there for the rest of your life. Are you on probation or parole right now?
No.
Okay, if you're on probation or parole, got to understand that by pleading guilty to this, it may result in further confinement or revocation of that probation or parole. If you're not, that's good. But here, it is going to go on your record. You have to understand that they can use this to enhance your punishment. So from now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You give up a lot of rights. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you cannot change this or undo this.
Yes, sir.
You still want to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right. How do you plead to the offense, sir?
No contest.
I'm still going to find you guilty. Sentence you to 45 days in jail, give you credit for the 10 days that you've done. Good luck to you, sir. Thanks. Yes, ma'am. Are you Steine? Can I give you a cause number, Alex?
Yes, Judge.
I need to give you guys a cause number and tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready, Judge.
It's 2414-539.
Is it a Steine?
Correct. Come up, Miss Steine. Miss Steine, you are charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, man.
Yes, Judge. On June 25th, 2022, the complainant said the defendant needed somewhere to stay for the night. The complainant let the defendant stay the night at her apartment and went to work the next day about 9:30 a.m. The complainant asked the defendant if the complainant could take her laptop to work. The defendant said the laptop wasn't. I apologize. The complainant said the laptop was not in the apartment. The complainant said the laptop's last known location was in her bedroom on the bed where the defendant slept. The complainant left the apartment and tracked the defendant and her MacBook Pro at about noon. The laptop was at the defendant's residence and was valued at $750. The complainant told the defendant to return the laptop. The defendant said to pick it up and she will give it back.
She got it back?
Your Honor, I don't have that information.
Morgan, do you know?
You need to check the OR, Your Honor.
Steine, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case. You understand? If I find that you have contact, if I find that you're in possession of any weapons, I'm going to revoke your bond. I will put you in jail.
Your Honor, the police took it into custody. So the police took the laptop. We don't know if the complainant got back the laptop. But
Okay. So she has another theft that was just dismissed now. Same MO.
Let me see, Your Honor. For the prior theft, it was, in that case, the complainant stated the defendant lived with her and realized her cash out balance was low and that she found $970 missing from her account and that the money had been transferred to another debit card without the complainant's knowledge.
What do you do for a living, ma'am?
I work at Sonic. The laptop my mom did return it back. We sent it back to her.
Are you working now, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living?
Sonic. I'm a cook.
So you have a full-time job? Okay. How much money do you make a month?
I'm not sure. I get paid $11 an hour.
Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, ma'am?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. Do you mind giving an application? I'm going to give you a PR bond now. I'm going to tell you now, Miss Steine, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect the public in every way. And if I find that you become a danger to my public, in so much as taking anything from anyone for any reason, from Walmart, from anywhere, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? This is the one you will get from me, and there will be no more if you pick up another case or you become a danger to my city. Okay. Do you mind giving her? Did you get the cause number on this? Okay, guys, can you file no contact with those? No picking up new cases and.
Yes, Judge. So no contact with the current complainant and no new cases.
Be a good person.
Yes.
This is off docket, right? Judge, this is off docket.
This is, yeah.
Could I get the cause number for the?
I think that I can reinstate this actually. You guys ready? Ready?
Yes, Judge.
Come on up.
Judge, I'm approaching on Tammy Johnson. She is in custody at the moment.
What card are you reading?
Did you get that, Judge? Tammy Johnson?
Yes.
So her bond is set currently at $1,001. She doesn't have any ability to make bond from kind of going through the procedural background of the case. It sounds like she'd gotten a GOB bond originally about a year ago.
Wow, she's been gone that long.
Well, did not come to a court setting and have a chance to meet you, Judge. And so, because had she have gotten an admonishment from you, she'd have certainly attended. She does not have- Well,
can you bring up Ms. Johnson, please?
she does not have any criminal history, and this is kind of a DW. I've chatted with them briefly about it, but the allegation is that the police found her asleep in a parked vehicle at a gas station, and with the car in park, but they say on.
I've done the research. We had this issue not a week ago, and I'm telling you.
Well, it's sufficient from a legal sufficiency standpoint, it can stand, but what do jurors think?
I combed through like 20 cases. Give me a second. Yes. Stephen. Hey, hi, Stephen. Hey, I'm in the middle of talking. Give me maybe like 10 minutes. I'll call you right back, huh? No, it's okay. I'm super excited to talk to you. Give me 10, huh? Okay, bye. We did the diligence as far as that argument is concerned. My only concern now is that she's been gone for how long, but for this, she would still be wherever she is, right?
She's got a kind of difficult financial situation. She's got family, but she's talked to her family and doesn't have the ability to make even what would be roughly paying $150 to get it. And, but she's 43 with no criminal history. She's got 2 children that she successfully raised to their young adults.
Come up, ma'am. You were Tammy Johnson. How's jail? How's jail? Why do we have jails?
Criminals off the street, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good reason for sure. Why else?
Judge, she knows.
To make sure you come back. And when you don't, the sentences get longer, the bars get colder. Just, you know that when you fail to appear, your bond's at $1,000 right now. So all that needs is $100 and you're out, $125, you're out. You now know that you have no one to pony up that kind of money, no one to pony up that kind of money to get you out. Mr. Garris is asking me to let you out. The only reason you're here now is because you got busted. Otherwise, you'd still be out who knows where. Why would we let you out? You tell me.
She wants to move forward and deal appropriately with the case, and the state has given me quite a bit in the way of discovery to review. And as with any type of blood case, there's probably going to be more that we venture out to seek, but it'd be obviously sometime. We talked about it, the idea that these can take 6 months, 7 months to even get ready to see if it's a viable case for trial.
Therein lies the problem where, ma'am, you sit now in custody until the case is either pled, you're in trial, or somehow gets disposed of. That could take 6 months. Where have you been?
I'm trying to get my life together.
Judge, she's worked for a long time as a waitress and is living, and she's living kind of difficult situation at the moment. So it's experienced bouts of homelessness and but now has a more stable situation. She has the ability to get to court and will be here. That's the representation we're making to the court. And I think we can do short resets if you'd like.
You know, Mr. Garris, I never want to leave someone in custody, but one of my primary concerns also is not putting someone out on the street. And I'm telling you now, I'm willing to give you another chance. But I'm not gonna put you out on the street if you ain't got nowhere else to go.
She does now. She's living in she has a motel that she's living in now, kind of temporary housing.
Yes, it's permanent. It's been for a while.
I don't believe that for a second. Who do you have in your life that's willing to take you in?
I've got that information. Yeah.
Before I had no one, but now I do.
But he just doesn't financially have the ability to.
The only thing that's changed between now and then is you got arrested. Ms. Johnson, the last thing I want is you to be put on the street where you look like you're going to start using again, because I don't want you to use. If I were to drug test you now, what are you going to test positive for?
Discussion about that.
Here's the drug. I'm going to drug test you like crazy. And if I find that you're using, then I'm going to keep you. And I'm not going to play this game. You can't even look at me in the eye.
Drugs aren't a problem.
Stop talking. Don't. Okay. At this point, Judge, I'm going to admonish my.
It's okay. That's all right. So where do you have to go?
Judge, let me answer all the questions. She lives in a motel, stable situation, can make her way back to court. And you can do short resets and we'll be here. And that's the understanding that we've talked about, and I think would be appropriate at this time would be to give her a chance to come in, and obviously we'll comport with all the requirements that this court installs. And if we have to do testing, we'll do that.
Let me make something perfectly clear to you, Ms. Johnson. I don't like it when people plead guilty just to plead guilty to get out. I'm not down with that. And we're not going to play that game here. So if I let you out, I expect several things from you. Number one, that you're not going to endanger my public. That's the first and foremost. Number two, that you're not using alcohol and or illegal drugs. And I'm telling you, I'm going to test you like crazy. If you can't stop on your own, then we will do it my way. And I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand?
Sure.
Number three, if you don't have a license and liability insurance, you are not allowed to drive. Do you have a Texas driver license? then you will be signing with me today an affidavit. This is a promise you're making to me that you're not going to drive. And I don't care if Jesus needs to ride to church, you get into a car and drive. I can have a contempt hearing and you'll be facing 6 months every time you drive. Do you understand? Do you want me to give you a PR bond? Can you stop using? I'm going to let you out and I'm going to have you come back here on Tuesday. And I want you to come back and take a test on me on Tuesday. And I want to know for sure. You got to understand, you've played Monopoly, right? What do you get in Monopoly to get out of jail? What do you get? You get a get out of jail free card, right? This is the only one you're going to get. You're not going to get another one. Do you understand? So I will let you out now, but I expect you to comport and comply with conditions. And that's it. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking you to be sober and come back to court and stay in touch with counsel. That's all.
Thank you, Judge.
Of course. Now, we will set her for Tuesday. She got to come back here Tuesday. You don't come back, a warrant will issue, and we're going to just play the 6-month waiting game while you're there. Because I'm telling you, I don't accept pleas just to get out of jail. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
She can't go yet, though. We need her to sign conditions with, yeah. Mr. Cameron, what time does court start?
8:30.
What time did you get here?
I
Excuse me,
just got
Judge.
here.
He called, he's on the docket next Friday,
Oh, I thought
and
it
he
was
explained
today.
that he was leaving the country, and I told him to come.
Got it. Okay, thanks, Ramona.
You're
So,
welcome, Judge.
Mr. Cameron, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers initiated a traffic stop after observing the defendant failing to maintain a single lane and swerving between lanes without signaling. Upon the traffic stop, officers observed slurred speech and glassy bloodshot eyes. The defendant on his own immediately stated, "You're going to make me walk the line, aren't you?" The defendant admitted to drinking a glass of wine and taking a Valium. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 HGN, 5 out of 8 walk and turn, 3 out of 4 one-leg stand. DIC was read and defendant consented to blood draw.
Look to see if he has any prior DWIs, please. Valid Texas driver license. Mr. Cameron, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Are you going to allow me to speak
What did you want to say?
in my defense?
I don't want you to talk about the case now. I've got a bunch of DAs here and everything that you say, they can use it against you.
Absolutely.
Now it's not.
And I have nothing to hide, sir. I'm leaving the country. I have to leave the country to teach Bible and English in Ukraine on Monday. I've been planning this for months.
I'm not putting a travel restriction on you. I'm just ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs.
I haven't. I had 2 lens replacements that week, sir.
From now on, while this case is open, you are not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication.
I don't anyway.
Well, then it shouldn't be a problem, but you're going to be randomly tested. How long are you planning on being out of town?
7 months until May.
This is going to be an issue. When are you leaving?
Monday.
You need to hire a lawyer. You need to talk to a lawyer about this so we can work something out. But you now have an open criminal case. You can't take off for just 7 months. It's not going. It can't happen. It's going to be an issue.
Half of the things that officer said was a lie.
That's why we have trials.
Okay.
You know, that's why I get it. There's always 2 sides to a story. I understand. The evidence will point to whose side is correct. I don't know. I wasn't there.
May I ask you a question, sir?
Sure.
When does the blood work come in?
It takes a couple months. You have to understand that we live in a city of around 3 million people. On average, I probably have around a couple hundred DWIs that I'm working every week. In those, nearly every one of those is a blood test. So they are just overwhelmed with the amount of blood tests that they're working at any given time. So basically you get in line and then it just, when it's
Sir,
your
I had-
turn, that's when they do it.
I had 4 ounces of wine.
Let's not talk, please. Everything you say, they're going to sit there and they're going to.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
Don't. Now's not the time. You need a lawyer to represent you. What
I will be my own lawyer, sir.
Would you perform open heart surgery on yourself? And let me tell you this.
I have nothing to hide.
Let me tell you this. If you're going to represent yourself, I'm going to require your presence here every month to go through discovery. Whereas if you have a lawyer, I waive appearances, right? Just, you can't represent yourself and be gone for 7 months. It don't work like that. So if you hire a lawyer, I will waive your appearance.
I can do this by remote.
You can't. Your lawyer can't. If you represent yourself, I require your appearance here.
All right, sir. You're talking about a public defender? If one is appointed for me?
You have to qualify. I don't give out public defenders like it's candy on Halloween. You have to qualify. If you have an income and you meet the federal poverty guideline, then we will appoint you a lawyer. But if you don't qualify, then you have to go hire a lawyer. But once you do hire a lawyer, I waive appearances so you don't have to waste your time coming to court. And then at that point, your case will be put off around 4 months, give or take. And then when the evidence comes in, that's when we start working the case. But you have to understand that we randomly call people to take a drug and alcohol test. And if you don't show up, we issue warrants. So that could be an issue. So that's why you need a lawyer to represent you.
Can I say something about the Valium?
No, what you say now will do nothing as to whether there's probable cause, whether it's going to get dismissed, whether this or that. It has nothing to do with, and you're only hurting yourself. Nothing you can say right now will make it to where the case gets dismissed, whether it just doesn't.
Okay, Judge.
I'm doing that to help you, believe it or not. You know,
Yes, sir.
we have a lot of people that come in here and they just want to run gun, just let's go now. Unfortunately, the law works at a snail's pace. And I know that it infuriates about 90% of the people, but that's just the way it goes.
And you're
I
right.
didn't invent it. I just try to
All right, sir.
micromanage.
If you may, in regard to the defendant's license, we see that he appears to have an out-of-state California license that is suspended in the case, except in the case of employment. So it appears to be an out-of-state occupational license.
License, I'm going to bar you from driving as well, sir. No. And I'm going to tell you now, if you have an occupational license in California, you've now picked up a DWI. Once they get wind of that, it's very possible they revoke that license as well. If he has an occupational license, it's got to be because of a DWI. Why else? Just don't say, no, don't. It's going downhill real quick. Don't. Now it's not the time. You need a lawyer. When do you leave on Monday?
7 a.m. from McAllen.
Oh, to McAllen?
No, from McAllen to Warsaw. Train to Kiev.
What I would do is get on it quick today to see about hiring a lawyer.
Okay.
And then they can appear on your behalf on Monday and we can work through the logistics. Don't just take off, because I'm telling you, if you just take off, I'm going to issue a warrant. And the next time you ever try to get on a plane, they're going to arrest you and it's going to be, you'll sit in custody for months. It is a potential incredibly big headache.
So what does the lawyer need to do on Monday?
You need to have a lawyer. The lawyer needs to come, file paperwork to represent you. And then we can talk about how to work the logistics with the case.
And we got to do that before 7 a.m. when the plane takes off?
Well, no. I mean, we don't start court here till 9 o'clock. So, hopefully if you hire a lawyer this weekend, they can try to get a hold of us through email, and perhaps we can work on it through the weekend, but
Okay.
you got to get on it
I'll
quick,
get on it.
because lawyers don't work on the weekends and it's already Friday. And I can tell you, not many lawyers work very hard on Friday.
One more question, please.
Sure.
Even if it's used against me, can I explain the California license revoked?
Don't.
All right.
Just really, I know that you want to, it's just now's not the time.
Okay.
You know, what we do is we usually give around 30-day resets for people to hire a lawyer, but I'm advising you to do it.
Okay.
You know,
Tell me where to go right now.
Okay. So you're showing he has a suspended license for sure, right?
That's what it shows on our end, Your Honor. Suspended except for that employment
Okay,
exception.
I'm gonna have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not gonna drive. I'm gonna have you sign a reset with Victoria. You sign the reset with Victoria, we'll have you meet with Felicia for your bond conditions that you're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Understand, I don't care where you are. I know that you're going to Poland or wherever, you can't consume alcohol.
And you don't want me to drive from now?
Well, you have to follow the law. If you don't have a license, you're not allowed to drive.
Okay. All right, sir. All right, sir. All right.
Judge, were you saying to put it on Monday?
Well, he's gone Monday.
Okay,
I would just say a 30-day reset and then just, you know, have a lawyer as quick as you can. Theoretically, you don't have to. You could be out of town and still get with a lawyer and the lawyer can come. We just need to know before the next setting.
Yes, sir.
Because if you're not here or it's someone here on your behalf by the next setting and you don't appear,
yes,
people don't appear, we revoke bonds.
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
How much money do you make a month?
I would say that I'd
be honest.
I just started with Tomball ISD, so I have barely worked a month, maybe 800.
How do you support yourself?
I have been working. I'm a retired teacher out of California, and so I have retirement. But I'm trying to come on to Tomball to add to my retirement.
So you earn a monthly stipend as
Yes,
a
sir.
part of your retirement?
Yes, sir.
And how much money do you make from that a month?
About plus Social Security.
All in
About 5,000 a month, plus the 800 that I just made.
See a prior DWI.
I didn't see anything when I ran this criminal history, Judge. I can try again if you'd like, but nothing is showing up.
How many people are in your household? Who do you live with?
I'm living currently with my sister.
You're not married. You don't have children.
I am going through a divorce. My wife and son are in California.
So let's do this. I'll have you come sign this. I'll have you sign the reset. I'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions. We'll set you off a month. Just be careful out there.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Judge, we're keeping the random scars.
Yes. Wow. Ali says we had 1,226 people watching. Unbelievable. Wow. I wonder where we have everyone watching from. That's amazing. Holy moly. Do you remember that person I told you that I was trying to set up the interview with the book?
Oh, yeah.
I think I might be able to do it next week. He lives in California, in LA, and the guy is just so cool. Like, I want you to meet him. He's just like, hey, dude is slick as grease, man. He's just,
Friday the 22nd?
I don't know. But, well, no, not on a day that we're super busy, because then it'll throw everything out of whack, you know? But on a day that maybe that we don't have that much, so that we take, maybe in the beginning, take a little bit of time so that we can just kind of have like a little conversation with them, like, hello, maybe 20-minute convo, and then, but I'm so,
All that week is kind of high because it's before Thanksgiving. So everybody's trying to set their cases before or after Thanksgiving. So that's why Friday will be the lightest day.
so you're saying the 22nd then, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, well, let me see what his schedule is, and then, yeah.
and Monday's gonna be the absolute worst.
How many do we have on
Already
Monday?
at 96.
Oh,
Yeah, and then you added some to today and then the weekend.
oh, man, we're gonna be like at 150 on Monday.
I'm gonna be sick for Monday.
Stephanie can handle it.
Yes, Stephanie got it.
Well, actually, I might get moved to my report.
What? We'll veto that.
It's not on the schedule yet.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Michael has a good idea, like merch, like for reelection merch,
Oh, heck,
That might be a good idea.
that would be a great idea.
Yeah, Michael has a good idea? What?
He's just repeating my ideas.
Shush,
No, yeah, that's,
don't take credit for him.
I'm stealing all his credit.
All right, guys, we're gonna let you go. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Swede, we love you too. Drunken Smurf, Nan, ATX, Marciano, Gauki, Stock Vendors, Chrissy, Bystander, Catch It, Mr. No, the guy who knocked. We love all you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Say bye to Linus.
I'll go back home.
Yeah, there you go, like this week.
See you guys.
How tall she is compared to
Oh, I
me.
know, right?
See the video.
Oh, I feel so great.
Choose.
Let me just get on your level.
Bye, Michael. We're gonna go out to eat.
Today? Bye, Michael. I'm stealing your wife. Good night.
All right, bye, guys. We're gonna let you go.
Well, kids, been another week. It's been a whole week. Can't believe it. Is this the second week, the second full week we've been through a Fleischer docket, the docket of the day every day. Oh wow, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. There's a lot of other stuff that happens during the daily docket, but I say this just about every night. Most of the stuff that I cut are just lawyers coming in, getting a rescheduling and moving on, and it's just that back to back. There's a few sidebars that may have stuff to do with people we saw in previous days or people we might see in days to come, but for the most part, you don't see the actual defendant, so it's hard to know who they're talking about. And if I'm listening to what they're saying and I can't tell who they're talking about, I figure it's going to be the same for everybody else, so that just gets cut. If you ever want to actually see the actual live stream that is unedited by me, then you can go over to Judge Fleischer's YouTube page and watch the videos on demand there. But you're not going to have the great community of people having the side live chat here, and that's just what this is all about. This is the Fleischer Forum. We watch stuff together. We say what we think about what we're watching, and that's what's great. All opinions are welcome, and it's just a fun, great time to get together and watch the courts we like and talk about what we see. And we'll be doing this same type of thing tomorrow morning. It's not going to have any Fleischer involved. It'll be 11 a.m. Central Time. That's 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And I plan on having some Middleton. I'm going to tell you right now, the Middleton I have is pretty interesting, kind of funny. Thinking about having some Stevens, maybe. No, not Stevens. It wasn't Stevens that I was thinking about. I don't know. It's mainly going to be Middleton. Oh, Middleton, Van, and probably some Simpson. I know a lot of you may have seen the crazy pro se Mr. Kelly. We covered Mr. Kelly on my channel on the weekend reviews previously, and we saw the trial in which the plaintiffs won by default. Well, Mr. Kelly decided to come back in today and show his rear about not being able to speak his side and have his trial and all that type of good stuff. And man, Simpson was not having it. And we might have to watch that tomorrow. There's a little bit of a Haley update, so if you haven't seen that update, I might throw that in there. And who knows? Who knows what else? Who knows what else? But yeah, I know Colin showed some of that tonight, but we're not just going to have that. That's not all we're going to watch tomorrow morning. So come by. We'll have Van for sure. We'll have Middleton for sure. And we'll probably have a healthy dose of Simpson to go along with that. So if you're up for that, ladies and gentlemen, grab you some coffee, grab you some donuts, get you some brunch ready. I don't care what you get. Just come hang out with us and chat. That's what we're all about. I'm going to get all that stuff ready. Get ready to watch Jake Paul fight Mike Tyson. Y'all have a good night. I'm your Lone Wolf Usul. I'm your curator for these videos. It's been my pleasure to be here and present this for you. I'm out of here. Good night. Oh yeah, hold on. Time out. Okay. It's horrible. I know Netflix, this is legendary right now because Netflix should have been prepared, but the buffering is ungodly. It's almost unwatchable. The fact that it's a huge technology company, and this is their world first streaming live event. And what makes it great is that not even Netflix could pull it off without a host, a literal bevy of technical problems and errors. And it's just funny. Yeah. So the last fight of the evening, right before the Jake Paul Tyson fight, is concluding right now. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, it is premiering on Netflix. It is the world's first Netflix live event. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm your Lone Wolf Usul, and didn't even be here. This thing's over. We're done here. Go. Good night. Good night. I love you all very much. Thank you for coming and hanging. Bye. The bar has shut its doors.